welcome to Stress Less, Live More, the podcast dedicated to helping you master your emotions and live a more fulfilling life. I am your host, Dr. Priyanka, and I'm thrilled to have you with me today. Today, we are diving into a topic that many of us struggle with: overwhelm. Feeling overwhelmed can paralyze us, making it difficult to accomplish even the simplest tasks. But fear not, by the end of this episode, you will have practical strategies to overcome overwhelm and regain control of your life. Let's begin by understanding what overwhelm is. Overwhelm happens when the demands on our time, energy, or resources exceed our capacity to manage them. It's like trying to carry too many groceries in one trip. Eventually, something's going to slip. One of my patients, let's call her Sarah, she experienced this firsthand. Sarah was a successful marketing executive, a mother of two, and a dedicated volunteer. Despite her impressive achievements, she constantly felt like she was drowning in responsibilities. Every day was a race against the clock, and she could never seem to catch up. To tackle overwhelm, we first need to identify its sources. For Sarah, it was a combination of work pressures, family obligations, and self-imposed perfectionism. By breaking down her overwhelm into these categories, we could address each one systematically. First, let's talk about work pressures. Many of us face demanding workloads and tight deadlines. One effective strategy is to prioritize tasks. Not all tasks are created equal. Some are urgent and important, while others can wait. I introduced Sarah to the Eisenhower matrix. It's a tool that helps categorize tasks based on their urgency and importance. This allowed her to focus on high priority tasks and delegate or postpone less critical ones. Next, we addressed family obligations. Sarah felt guilty about not spending enough quality time with her children. We discussed the importance of setting boundaries and creating a realistic schedule. By designated specific times for work and family, she was able to be fully present in each role without feeling torn. Perfectionism was another major contributor to Sarah's overwhelm. She had set impossibly high standards for herself, striving for perfection in every aspect of her life. I encouraged her to practice self-compassion and embrace the concept of good enough. And this shift in mindset allowed her to release some of the pressure she had placed on herself. So, let me give you some practical tips. Tip number 1: learn to say no. It's okay to decline additional responsibilities when your plate is already full. Saying no does not make you weak, it makes you wise. Sarah realized that she did not have to accept every invitation or volunteer for every project. So, by setting boundaries and prioritizing her own well being, she reduced her overwhelm significantly. Another helpful strategy is time blocking. Allocate specific blocks of time for different tasks or activities, and this helps you stay focused and prevents tasks from spilling over into each other. And Sarah found that dedicating uninterrupted time for work, family, and self-care brought a sense of order to her days. Now let's talk about the importance of self-care. When we are overwhelmed, self-care often takes a backseat. However, taking care of yourself is essential for managing overwhelm. Make time for activities that recharge you, whether it's reading, exercising, meditating, or simply enjoying a cup of tea. Sarah started incorporating short self-care breaks into her day, and it made a world of difference. Mindfulness is another powerful tool in combating overwhelm. Mindfulness involves being fully present in the moment, without judgment. So, when we are mindful, we are less likely to be consumed by worries about the past or future. Sarah began practicing mindfulness through meditation and deep breathing exercises, and this helped her stay grounded and focused even in the midst of chaos. Let's take a moment to discuss the role of technology in overwhelm. While technology can be a great productivity tool, it can also be a major source of distraction. Sarah found that constant notifications and emails were contributing to her overwhelm. So, we implemented a digital detox plan where she designated specific times to check her phone and emails. And this allowed her to regain control of her attention and reduce unnecessary stress. Delegation is another key strategy. You don't have to do everything yourself. Sarah started delegating tasks both at work and at home. She involved her family in household chores and sought assistance from colleagues for certain projects. And delegation not only lightened her load but also empowered others to contribute. One of the most effective ways to combat overwhelm is to break tasks into smaller steps. When faced with a daunting project, it's easy to feel paralyzed. By breaking it down into manageable steps, you can make steady progress without feeling overwhelmed. And Sarah applied this approach to her work projects and found it much easier to tackle them. Finally, let's talk about the importance of celebrating small wins. Overwhelm often makes us focus on what we have not accomplished rather than what we have. So take a moment to acknowledge and celebrate your achievements, no matter how small. This positive reinforcement boosts your confidence and motivation. To sum up, overcoming overwhelm is about prioritizing tasks, setting boundaries, practicing self care, embracing mindfulness, managing technology, delegating, breaking tasks into smaller steps, and celebrating small wins. By implementing these strategies, you can regain control of your life and reduce the burden of overwhelm. Remember Sarah? By applying these strategies, she was able to transform her chaotic days into more manageable and fulfilling ones. She learned to prioritize, set boundaries, and practice self care. As a result, she felt more in control and less overwhelmed. So, thank you for joining me on this episode of Stress Less and Live More. I hope you found these tips helpful and inspiring. If you're ready to take the next step in mastering your emotions, be sure to check out the link in the episode description to sign up for our upcoming webinar. It's a fantastic opportunity to dive deeper into these strategies and start your journey towards a more balanced and fulfilling life. Till then, bye.